for Heath. So after the core and during the lead up to the 1000th episode of Raw, right, you were fighting all the legends, which personally I thought that was an amazing storyline that they were doing there. I loved it, but I wasn't the one fighting the legends, so I want to know your feelings on that. Who like pitched that to you? How'd you find out you were going to do it, and did you feel any type of pressure leading into that?
Okay, no one said anything to me. Not a word. I literally showed up at Raw, and when you go to Raw, you put your bags in the locker room, you say hello to the boys. Next thing you know, you got to report to talent relations, because if you don't have stuff to sign or an interview or something, whatever, like you just got to always report there, like a little, that's your teacher. You're like, I'm here,
Yeah.
So you go in, and next thing you know, cards on the wall, Carano's over there. I have like a box of cards to sign, so I always think that's cool because I like trading cards, So I'm like, hell yeah. So I look on the card, I'm looking, and usually I'm not booked, so it's like, what the hell? So I'm looking, next thing I knew, I see Heath Slater versus Vader, and I'm like,
a typo or something, right?
Oh my god!
like in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, they have some jabroni dressing up as Vader, going to beat me up, that type of deal. So I look over to Carano, and I'm like, well, what's that? He's like, yeah, man, you're working Vader. I'm like, you mean Big Van Vader, like the mastodon wearing, Vader, Yeah, what other Vader do you know, I'm like, what the hell? Whoa, okay. So the whole thing was they're bringing back a legend each week leading up to Raw 1000,
Of course.
But they were wanting to do like me versus Vader, someone else versus this legend, someone else versus this legend, someone else versus this legend. It wasn't going to be me, to where when I heard that, I'm just like, how many weeks is this leading up, And they're just like, this many weeks. I'm like, how many legends? This many. I'm like, I want to be the legend builder. Let me go against every damn legend. Let me get a little 2-minute promo every night talking about we don't need these old timers, blah, 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 this and that. Have them come down and whoop my ass, like that easy, So it was one of those things to where like that's where my mind was going, because I went to Rotundo because he was my agent. And he's like, I got you on Vader tonight, this and that, blah, 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 blah. And then I asked him about it, so it's what he told me. So my mind started thinking. I'm like, no one else is going to get this damn spot. This is going to be mine.
This is mine,
So that's when I went up to, we met up with Vader. We talked it over, this and that. And we had the match, and it was fun and cool. And yes, it was one of those things to where, like, I remember being a kid on the guardrail, looking at Vader walk down, and being scared of this dude. And now I'm in the ring, watching him enter the ring, and I'm about to work him, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, this is insane. So after that, the match was over, this and that. I walked right in the gorilla and walked right to Vince. I was like, hey, how many more legends you got going up? I heard this, I heard that, I heard this, I heard that. He was like, yeah. He was like, and each week, I'm going to do this and do that. I was like, no. Each week, let me do it. Let me be the guy that works and let me cut the promo. Let me do that. And he looked at me like, you willing to do that? I'm like, what the hell you mean? Yes. Like, yes, I am. I'm like, I am living a childhood dream right now. Like, yes, So during that time, it was like, Vader, Sid Vicious, Cyndi Lauper, Roddy Piper, and Randy Richter, Lita, Animal. Like Roddy Piper was in there, who? Rikishi.
DDP, Rikishi,
Doink the Clown, like, my goodness. Like it was literally one of those things to where it was just like, wow, man, like this is really cool, And then the whole thing is like, even like the cherry on top is like working with Bret Hart years before that, to where it was just like, I have literally worked almost everybody that's like a legend living, right now, to where this is amazing. So you can just see how much it meant. Like it really was really, really cool moment, really awesome. Like I would, that's one of those times where I didn't give a damn what they told me to do. I was like, yep, I'm in the ring. It's on the books with Vader, with Sid, with Animal.
Yeah. I always thought, like, watching as a kid, I always thought, man, his record is going to be so interesting. You know what I mean? Like, all these young up-and-comers, and then, like, Vader, Animal. Really cool when you look back on it, like, in retrospect. Who would you say is the best legend that you fought in that whole thing? Who was I know there were short matches, short promos, but in the ring, who'd you click best with out of those guys?
I mean, like, you talking about the Legends run or adding Bret to that?
Adding Bret. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, so
not surprising at all.
Not surprising, yeah.
He literally had that, you know, the stroke and all that stuff, and like no one could touch him. You know, like he was that guy to where like, don't touch Bret. You know, like he can't, you know, really go like he used to. And what cracks me up is that's what everyone was telling me. Don't touch him. Don't do this. Don't do that. Blah, 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 blah. But then I'm sitting there talking to Bret, and Bret's like, yeah, we're doing this. And I'm just like, hold on, what? We're going to do all this?
Can you do
know?
That?
Yeah, exactly. But, bro, it was one of those things to where, like, whatever you want. I'm here for you, you know, let's do it, you know, to where it was just one of those times, like, even like my birthdays, Christmas, when I got released, hey, Bret called me, you know, like he's just such a genuinely good dude. I mean, just so like the time the dude jumped him whenever they were doing the Hall of Fame thing. Yeah. I trained my ass up in there, you know, because I love Bret. Yeah. You know, like it's one of those things where like he has such good respect from all the workers, and he's a genuinely good dude, and he's one of the best workers ever, even after his stroke. Like he was there, you know, like on everything. Like he's the man. Like I don't know. I'm just a little biased, I guess, by it, but dude, he's the man. Like he's awesome. And Rikishi's really cool too, man. Rikishi was so easy and fun to work. I just didn't like his ass. I believe it.
You and so many others, probably.
Yeah, definitely the least enjoyable part of that.
Do you was there anything special going on backstage for that Thousands episode that we didn't really get to see that you remember? Was it like a really big night? Because you were still kind of young into your career.
Yeah. I mean, you know, leading into Raw 1000, whenever it was me and Lita, and then next thing you know, it was like APA came out, and I tried to run away, and then all the legends come out. I mean, I still got a picture up, you know, with me on my back looking up at the stars, but every one of those legends are in the ring looking over me, to where I'm like, whoa, like who else could say they've been in the pit, the same ring or picture with all these dudes, you know?
Exactly.
Same time, not even two. Yeah.
What got me, man, was the fact that, you know, these guys are legends. I watched them growing up, you know. Yeah. They can do whatever they want. But what was really cool was that after that night, when they're all in the back and I came to the back, they all waited on me, gave me a hug, said thank you.
Oh, wow.
And I'm talking about, like, down the line to where I was just, like, emotional, you know? Like,
absolutely,
you know? And I mean, like, you know, you have Vader and Sid and Animal and Piper and Wendy Richter, like, you know, Lita, all these people, you know, coming around you and with you and just being like, thank you so much, man. You did awesome, this and that, you know, hugging you and just, you know, giving you that good job, man. You're awesome. You know, that type of thing is something that you don't forget, those little moments, you know. They probably don't even remember they did it. But I remember it. You know what I mean?
Like, they made your night, and that's really cool.
Exactly.
Woo! Message Daddy. Boogie Woogie Man feel good. I tell my people, my brothers and sisters, don't you dare miss online. Rewind, recap, relive. Oh, yeah.